The next session is about tales of transformation. And some pioneers, some leaders have started to implement actually this vision in their company. So we are going now to discuss together, having a roundtable with some of these leaders. And in order to help me to moderate this roundtable, I'm inviting on stage Hahne Asensio. Give her a round of applause. On fait la bise ou pas? No? How are you, Hahne?
I'm good. I'm good.
So Hahne has been joining Dassault Systèmes since 2008.
Correct.
And we have been working together since the first day. We have started to imagine together pieces of solution called creative designer to address some issues in design.
Correct.
Tell us who you are.
You were supposed to ask me to present myself, so I'm going to start to do this. So I'm so pleased to be here and very honored to basically follow up such a speech, John. You know, I knew you for quite a long time, but to have you here in flesh is really great. So I'm also a designer. I basically have a very similar journey into art, design, and engineering because I'm being trained as both. I spend most of my time working as an executive in the car industry, both Renault and General Motors. And this is really at that time that I was able to encompass, you know, that spectrum of design, going from concepts, innovative concepts, to upfront innovation, you know, getting that thinking process upfront, all the way to programs, to brand characters, to the consumers, and delivering meaningful and memorable experiences. And I got my moment. Actually, I met Bernard. That was my moment. And he gave me the chance to meet you.
Thank you.
I remember aboard the bank of the Seine, big meeting, and you show me everything. And I said, gosh, this is a place to be. This is a place that will allow me to basically not just doing design, but thinking design. So that's what basically I did, because a month later, I rushed to Bernard's office, and I said, Bernard, we need to create a design studio.
So, Hahne, coming from these various industries, what is your role inside Dassault Systèmes? What is this design studio? Tell us more.
It did change over time, but one of the things that we wanted to do is to have a place where we were doing and thinking, but also being able to reveal the power of Dassault Systèmes capacities in terms of tools, and today in terms of the 3D experience platform, in confrontation also with what we are doing as project with our customers. So it was experiment, but also it was consultancy. So today we do both. We are doing, thinking, and entertaining our customers in questions that are critical for them. Because...
Yes, that's the next one. Yes, in fact, we are here to address design megatrends.
It is true.
And for that, I would like you to talk with us 2 or 3 minutes about what you consider to be the top challenges that we should all here take to enter in the age of experience. What are the, let's say, the 3 top ones top of your mind?
So first of all, I think that having designers that are today encompassing engineering, design, experience, it's quite rare. It used to be rare, but today they are gaining more and more people. So we need to enable them. Second, I think one of the key point, and I think John made a very good point about the fact that technology is changing completely the way we think, the way we live, the usage and the practice we have in our day life, but also in our working life. And this global economy is changing and is now driving by usage. So design become now, by taking the human at the heart of his thinking, really critical to address tomorrow's challenges. So when I talk to some of my customers, the clients that are coming and that I'm visiting and the one who are consulting me, the main question they have is, how can I manage my day-to-day task and at the same time build the future? And this is really where we come into play. The 3D experience platform allows us to do both. not only just to address the issues they currently have in their business processes, but also we are helping them by imagination, by this very subtle capacity that designers have in the observation, to look at the corner, to see all the weak signals the society is showing, to actually giving them, with empathy, the right answer for what could be their future. If it's a bank, the future of the bank. If it's a car company, the future of mobility, and so on. So in doing so, we are basically engaging the value of design methodology, but the power of that design methodology, as we do it within the design studio at Dassault Systèmes, is we are leveraging the incredible capability of the 3D experience capacity, wherever it is for modeling, creating, sketching, but also to representing, to test, to share, to do an open labs in a disruptive innovation place for having people to share each other, the work they are doing. So that's really what we can see as a great value, and this is what we're currently doing.
So for this roundtable, Tales of Transformation, 3 topics. What are they?
So I would say how we can, if the experience is at the heart of everything we do and design today, how can we pilot a project with the value of experience at the core? So this is really what we would like to discuss with our invités, and they have wonderful testimony to share with us. We also want to basically, the second one, yes, this is the math, this is art, the chaos. How we can engage and harmonize basically experiences that will be engaging emotion, engaging all of what will be making that very, at the heart, the singularity of the proposition. And the last one, and we will be discussing that, this is really what I consider the most important, is design is social in a way it's basically engaging, because it's not just these black turtleneck designers signing its design. It's really about this force of collaboration, the designers being more like mediator, helping anyone within the party of innovation to basically collaborate, exchange, with maybe a medium that is maybe starting by the sketch, but also 3D and virtual universe, because we bet they are incredible capacity for demonstrating, what people think. So social design is a way we can do design, but at the end, that's a great purpose. It could be the finality of design, making a design that is ultimately more social, more, I will say, elegant and harmonious for the life that we are living.
So, experience thinking.
Experience thinking.
Emotions, human at the center, and emotional design and social design. So,
Correct.
In order to articulate those 3 topics, I would like to invite our friends on stage. So, Pierre Leclercq. Arthur Leopold Léger. YoungSe Kim. Jess Hahn. Where is Jess? And Philippe Morel. What a panel. All right, here we go. Tales of transformation. So, we sit in the middle, right?
Yep, why not?
So, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It's really a pleasure to have this collection of leaders in their opinion in design. First of all, maybe a roundtable of the roundtable. So, Pierre, you want to start by presenting yourself?
Introduce
yes.
yourself.
Hi. So my name is Pierre Leclercq. I'm responsible for design for a brand called Great Wall Motors. We're the first independent car manufacturer of China. By independent, I mean we don't belong to the state. This means my boss is actually the owner of the company. We produce about 850,000 vehicles a year, mainly for China, with about 10 to 15% export. Our slogan is getting better every day, little by little, and this is what we're trying to do to make cars that do well. We're learning every day. We have invested in a new R&D center in our hometown, Baoding, and we have a design studio as well in Shanghai. We have a design team that is about 300 people in between the two places. And I started this new mission almost 3 years ago. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It doesn't start.
It's okay. I don't think you're going to have any
It's
slide
after.
now.
Right,
The
thank you.
pitch.
Next.
Arthur,
Yeah,
Who are
hi
you?
everyone. My name is Arthur Leopold. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Elixir Aircraft. It's a company that we founded in January 2015, so just over a year ago. It has six people, only 6 people in the team. Our aim is to conceive and industrialize a new light aircraft, which will be full of innovation. It will have 2-seater, will be able to travel over 300 kilometers per hour for less than 5 liters per 100 kilometers. And it's full of innovation in the experience, in the ergonomy, in the performance, and in the production process.
you're going to tell us a lot more, I think, in the coming minutes. Well, my friend, YoungSe Kim, you come from
Hello,
far.
my name is YoungSe Kim. I am CEO founder of InnoDesign from Palo Alto, Silicon Valley. I named my design company based on innovation. So company name is InnoDesign. And rest of me, I will talk to you somewhat later. Thank you.
Philippe? No, Philippe, the other Philippe.
Hello, my name is Philippe Morel. So I'm the CEO of X3, which is a company dedicated to large-scale 3D printing for the construction industry. I'm a former architect. I'm also an academic. I'm a teacher. I'm an associate professor. I'm teaching in Paris. I used to teach also in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, but also at UCA, at UCL and at the AA in London. So I really enjoy the fact that I'm probably addressing one of the most important disruptive technology today, which is 3D printing. And I also very much believe that large-scale 3D printing is really the future of 3D printing at some point. So this really allows me to articulate my, let's say, passion, but also my expertise in architecture and the one I have in technology and manufacturing technologies as well.
Thank you, Philippe. And last but not least,
Jesse.
Jess.
My name is Jesse Hahn. I'm the president of the Center for Advanced Design. And we're a US-based product development firm operating out of Minneapolis. And together we have designed and developed over 1,500 products that you can buy on store shelves and in catalogs worldwide.
And you bought a gift, I think, that you're going to show later on.
So let's start.
Yes, so I think topic number 1.
Experience thinking. So we're talking about the fact that basically we are no more designing product, but the full experience, the holistic and systemic experience for customer. Can you tell us more by example?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you can like a car visually, but the joy it can give you by driving it every day. And the car is an object that you interact with quite a lot. The joy or not that it gives you every day by driving it is, of course, something very important for every brand nowadays. And many of those things are worked with design. So I'm not talking about performance, of course. I'm talking about interior space, ergonomy, user interface, touch and feel through color and trim. All these things are extremely important. And afterwards, of course, even the experience of selling a car, the experience of maintaining a car are very important. These are cars from our company in China. Some things that we've done quite a lot and that have taught us a lot are driving tests. We're getting a lot of cars that are completely comparable, and we're driving them just one after the other. And it's a bit like a wine tasting. You know, when you just have a glass of wine, you can say that you like it or not, but you don't know exactly why. And when you test drive some cars just one after the other, you learn so much about them. You can put words on things that work, things that don't work. For example, I don't know, the angle of a dashboard gives you a totally different feeling, although two cars are exactly competitors.
But Pierre, tell us more about how do you basically capture what would be that final experience, you know, when you are in the process of design.
Well, I think it's like you said earlier. I think the designer is basically focusing on collecting information from all departments and trying to give the best final product and the best experience to the client.
And how do you know? Do you have anything in particular to share? How do you manage to basically gather those information and bringing into the design?
I think that was for the second question, no?
I told you I will be asking that question.
That can be tricky.
Okay, so Pierre, you're transforming the transportation and mobility experience, and I think your neighbor, Arthur, is doing the same, but in the air, flying. So Arthur, tell us how you envision the transformation of, aerospace transportation in the air.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to start with a question. When I give you the word aircraft, what emotion, what sensation does it bring to you? Well, for me, I'm going to answer for you. It brings the freedom, the travel, the experience, the technology, the modernism. Well, if I tell you now that light aircraft today in the world are over 50 years age, and I'm talking about the product, not the conception. The conception is over 60 years. So it's completely opposite of what you think. And those aircraft were conceived by engineer for engineer. So there is no design, there is no experience. It's just a function.
And just a carryover of best practice over time, never being challenged.
Exactly. So today, the mission of Elixir Aircraft is to change the thing. Our mission is to change this. So we are putting the customer first. The customer first, his experience, his wishes. And for this, we are working with designer, with ergonomic, and that's how we would like to change the world today, by bringing innovation and modernism to those people.
Yeah, you are piloting your project with the value of experience at its core. That's really what it is. And you are not designing an aircraft. You're designing a flying experience.
Exactly.
So really you are shifting from product thinking to experience thinking.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is that today every normal pilot could beneficiate of the technology, of the modernism that exists today.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. So we're ready for theme number 2.
You sure? We don't have a third speaker?
No.
Okay, good. So your cars are more updated than mine. Okay, the second is to talk about something that is a little bit more in the depth at the core of design, is how do you engage emotionally, when you pilot a project of design, how do you engage emotionally, your designer or the people working on design?
I'll show you.
You show me,
I'll show you
very
all.
Good. But
how do I emotionally discover what the new designer's role is all about. There's millions of design definition, but one of the best and most important definition of design during my 30-year design consulting company experience is that design is loving others. This is my son's sketch, and this is a coupon book. And on the cover, it was a coupon book, and the first page of coupon, this is for my son's present to my wife, son's mother. I'm actually the Mother's Day cover, like this. And you can see, first page is like, he's offering car washing service. But if you look at it carefully, and it's only good for one car, and there's an expiration, she has to use it. And there's 2 cars that he made a pretty cute sketches of his mom's 2 cars there. And there's another page showing dishwashing also. There's an expiration. There's another one, is a laundry that he offers. And then good for one whole day of laundry, but expire September such. There's a massage, 15 minutes back massage, but she has to use it until when? Expiration. There's a garage cleaning, and there's the window washing, and this is all offering, which made her very happy. And the last page of his coupon made my wife cry, and it said, love, but expiration never. And I saw her, start crying, and they made me to think that that's the biggest hit. That's the best design that I have ever seen. And immediately, I thought about what designer's role is all about, and come to me, this designers loving others is a very strong message to me, and that has become Design's slogan. From there on, we've been designing as if we are creating gift for my lover, our lovers. So that's where emotional design is coming from. I think it's very important for us to know that we are into a big change nowadays. This is one of my design. Actually, this was done for my wife. And she's not my wife, but she's most beautiful, one of the most famous actresses from Korea, very famous in China, everywhere actually. Tell me, which one of these two are more beautiful? The actress or the design that I have? You probably think actress, right? But design is not beauty contest. The reason why I'm showing this to you is that when I was talking to my wife about the project from Korean client, which is now one of the largest in the world, to design compact that ladies usually use every day for years and hundreds of years, she thought it would be great if she can have a compact that she didn't have to use both hands to open the cover to look into the mirror. And I immediately thought about the idea, made a mirror on top, and made it to slide up and down instead. And I made my wife so happy with this design. But then this company sold more than 10 million of this same compact that my wife wanted. So I created this product for the client. And this company, Morel Pacific from Korea, is, I think, one of the world's largest cosmetic company as of now. This happened about 7 years ago, and they grew so fast. I'm not here to brag about design, but I'm here to talk about design. We heard a lot about big data. Big data is a big words nowadays. But I'm introducing to you the new word today. We are into the age of big design. So big data is great, but big data made big design possible. With big data, we can design much better, much faster. I mean, Dassault system make us to design things much smarter, much faster. It's beautiful that they gave us opportunity to experience before even before we make the product. We can test it, user experience before going in tooling. And designer's role is not anymore like making things look better. Design is planning. Design is big design, not small design anymore. Small design might be the ones that you can call, like John described the same thing, like decoration. Most of we talk about design when we think about design as the last touch of product development. But new things happen with the technology, IoT, the big data and such. Big design is possible. We build product from user's experience. So from A to Z, during entire process of business development is design. So now we are living in a big design. And big design is to know what to design. Small design is to know how to design. And we have been spending many, many years, since 100 years ago, when there was a big design movement from Germany, like a Bauhaus. We spent 100 years in doing mass production and making things look better, but that was small design. It was just knowing how to design. But knowing what to design is more important from user's experience which we can imagine. So Dassault Systems program made us all possibly invest our ideas into new things, creating new things. So this is what big design is all about. Hopefully I came from Korea, through Silicon Valley, to meet with you to introduce my new thinking about big design. Thank you.
Thank you, YoungSe. Thank you.
Wow.
Who's the next?
Yes, so thank you very much for sharing that with
Jesse.
us.
Yeah, we have a very emotional story with Jesse right now.
Exactly.
Jesse from Minnesota, tell us a little bit more. You have like I know they well because I do a motocross also, but you have a very interesting story and very emotional one to
For
tell
sure.
us.
So about 4 years ago, we were approached by a gentleman named Mike Schultz, and he presented us with a challenge. Mike, his entire life was a professional racer, and he had an accident where his leg had to be amputated. And his challenge was the prosthetic leg they gave him after the accident was not going to allow him to get back on the bike and get back to his racing career. So we used SolidWorks and SolidWorks Industrial Design to develop the leg, the knee, and the foot that you see here, and that allowed him to get back to his racing career. Mike then went on to win 5 X Games gold medals. So he competed in motocross, snowcross, and snowboarding. And since he's developed a company around the products that you see here, and he's helped 700 other athletes and a few Olympians get back to the sport that they love.
So I remember when we talked just before that you were explaining how you did develop this design by constant interaction with him. You know, you were not just thinking in a vacuum, designing the technical parts, you know, in SolidWorks. You actually were having this ability to basically back and forth, exchanging and adapting, moving forward.
Absolutely. It was constant contact back and forth, and this is an example of it. This is a part that we surfaced. And it was real crucial because that is the contact point for the different vehicles that he rides, and he had a certain feel and a certain look that he wanted that part to have. So the ability to do that back and forth and collaborate with him was important.
I think this is, to me, the best example of when design become language. You know, because he would be probably speaking and say, I want it more like this, more like that, and you were just having like a three-dimensional, you know, capacity to express it. And suddenly, by the incarnation of 3D printing, or at least the manifestation of 3D, you actually have a language that was helping you to both converge to the ultimate design. So this is a wonderful example.
Yes, I also brought another part with that we worked on. I brought this with because this really highlights the speed at which industrial design allows us to develop. So this project, to get to this point where we were 3D printing and presenting to the customer, just over 10 hours. And with our traditional design process, it would have easily been double that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So you're a fan of SolidWorks industrial design?
Yes, absolutely.
Running it on the cloud, right?
Our company runs on it, yes.
That's amazing. I would have never imagined that I will be able to wear such a helmet in the future. That's great. So the next story, I think it's...
It's back to Pierre, I
Pierre,
think, about
yeah.
emotions and...
Yeah, you know, that's maybe the question I was...
And I don't have the remote.
The remote, it's lost. I don't know where it is.
I think we're talking about cars being social products, right? Cars are for sure a very, very social product. And when you're a young designer, it's not something that you realize. I've been working on this car when I was at BMW. And when you're a young designer, especially in car design, I think you have a big ego. You want to make the car the way you want. You want to design your own car. You don't even want to do it the way your boss wants it. And you certainly don't think about the client so much. I remember one day, actually, I was telling my boss, you know, if we do this like that, it's really only to please the board. To what he told me, you know, Pierre, everything we do in this company is actually to please the board. That means selling cars and for our clients. But this is a good example. This car, for example, is what I call a car that is in the gray zone. That means it's a car that nobody can dislike. You don't have to fall in love with it, but you cannot dislike it. After this car, I've done the X6, and the X6 was something totally different. Although for me it was always the big brother or the Incredible Hulk of the X5, or I call it. But this car was not in the gray zone. This car was in the black or white zone. And actually, I have had many people who were telling me, you know, Pierre, I'm sorry, but I just hate it. And actually, I liked it when people were telling me that, because it actually means they care.
It means that you are doing something that polarizes them.
Yes,
that it's very strong.
absolutely. It does polarize. It's a word that we use a lot in car design and in marketing. But and it's something that you realize afterwards when you start meeting clients, dealers, launch your cars. And it's a perspective that I always like quite a lot now. It only brought good things to my world of car design. The fact that you work for some people, and the fact that you try to really please them at the end. I always compare our job to the one of a good cook, a cook fighting for having a star at the Michelin. And I think he's not actually doing it just for the star, but a cook really wants to please the people he's cooking for. And that's what we do.
So design is caring also.
Design is what?
Caring.
Yes,
Care.
absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, Pierre. So maybe we're going to move to the third
Yes, to the third
movement.
part.
The third part is social design. And when it comes to social design, we can understand it in two ways. But the first step would be to understand design as a social fact, the fact that we are basically bracing organization, talent, competencies, expertise, not only in-house, but also from outside, animating a very large ecosystem of capacities, and this is all in one place, whether it's physical or virtual. So we have also some testimony about social design. Maybe Arthur, do you want to just tell us a little bit more what's happening at Elixir Aircraft about social design?
Yeah, okay. So when you start building an aircraft, you know that you will face many challenges. The three bigger one are to conceive the aircraft, to certify the aircraft, and to certify the manufacturer, the factory. For decades now, to do this, company had to engage hundreds of engineers, to gather them in a building, to make them work together, and to spend a lot of money. Of course, when we started this company, it was clearly not an issue. We didn't have money, we didn't have many people. So we started with only 3 people, it's now 6 people. But the idea was to gather around us many companies with expertise in ergonomy, in design, we talked about it, but in structure, in aerodynamic, in the manufacturing, in the certification. And to make all those people work together, we needed a tool. So we heard about the 3D experience platform. We had doubt about it at the beginning for the security, for the collaboration. But then we came into it and we discovered that by using this tool, it was like talking with people in the same building, but through the web. And today we can share data, we can share ideas, we can share procedure through this 3D platform with all the experts around this project. So starting from a startup of only 6 people, we are making a project that could have taken hundreds of people, thanks to these tools in the end.
So it's not just a tool, it's a platform, you know?
Yeah, sorry, it's the engineer side.
No, it's okay. Well, I like that because in the past when I used to do this innovative, disruptive innovation project, we call it platform. So I think that's just nice metaphor for what's happening, you know? People are virtually here and people who are virtually in some other place.
Yeah. And so we're working with other people, but even still, it's really flexible because whenever we need a tool, it's there. We use it only when we need it, and we stop using it at the end.
Or need an expertise.
Exactly.
Because you're also calling expertise, not just, you know, the capacity of a tool.
Yeah, and the people, yes.
Thank you.
I think I have a comment to make.
Yes.
I think it goes well beyond your dream, Arthur, because I know that some people in Dassault Systèmes are working with you also, you know, because basically you're running, you know, in the platform that is on the cloud. And as soon as you have a doubt or something you want to know about the solution, you just get connected and you have our experts online. So I have to refrain them sometime because they're spending quite a bit of time.
Actually, there are not only the people from Dassault Systèmes doing that, because there are community, and whenever we ask a question, we can have answer from someone who had faced this problem in Japan, in anywhere else. And that's thanks to the web and probably thanks to the cloud as well.
Welcome.
The cloud is also a good point because well, we are building an aircraft, but we have no IT structure, and that's actually really new, I think.
If I may comment on social design is what we are talking about. And I think there's definitely a big change, as I said, with technology so advanced, big data's easily available, new industry coming as, IoT is forecasting the annual market size of IoT in 10 years from now, I believe is about $19 trillion, which means just about everything is going to be recreated and redesigned. And I think everyone's becoming a designer, and platform and collaboration is going to be a key for success. And your program, Dassault Systèmes software solution, is just great because anybody can create together with designers or engineers or customers. So there's a big platform that we need to have everybody work together to create. So designer's role is changing from somebody who's going to come to company and work for finishing touch of a product, making look better, improve here and there. Designer's role is going to go out there to the marketplace, find what people are looking for, the new experience that 7 billion people are looking and wanting, and finding such a good things to do and working together. So I think for big design age, I think my slogan for all of us is to design together. So from technical side, marketing side, engineering side, artistic side, design side, I think it's going to be all mingled together. And that's what I think you are calling as social design trend.
That's why, exactly.
Yeah? Is that right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes, and also I think there are another way to talk about social design is how when you are working socially, how do you would impact our social life and society? I would like Philippe to talk about what he's doing in his company specifically on this topic, because you are addressing social design and doing it socially.
Yes, thanks a lot. Yes, you're right. Actually, one of the big challenges of the construction today and the dwelling market is that we will face a demographic growth of 1.5 billion of new inhabitants in the next 15 years. Actually, it means that we would have to build a city approximately the size of Milano once every month, or one city like Paris, which is 2.2 million of inhabitants every 12 days. So the problem we face in architecture and construction, and more generally in the construction industry, is that we know today that we cannot build in the same way, in the same fashion as what we did before. It's impossible. For example, in the last 3 years, China has used more cement than as all the US during the 20th century, which is 6.6 billion of tons of cement. Actually, I don't know if you know that, but each of us is using 3 tons of concrete every year, actually, which makes concrete the second largest used materials in the world after water. So we have to change the methods. We have to reduce the amount of material we are using. We have to go towards more optimal structures, as what we see here on the screen, making use of topological optimizations tools, for example, which now are embedded directly in some of the CATIA environment. Actually, when we make use, and this is what we are doing, when we make use of the 3D Experience platform, because we are part of the 3D Experience Lab, actually, when we make use of the 3D Experience platform, we have an access in one go just by changing or by clicking on an icon. I mean, it's kind of apps. It really looks like apps on your mobile phone. It's really easy at some point. It makes the use of really advanced software easy. And when we use that, all of the people at X3, which is dedicated to large-scale 3D printing, we see here, it's made of concrete, really high-performance fiber concrete, actually. When we use the platform, all of the people at the team, actually in our company, they can work together, because in our company we have architects, engineers, I mean mechanical engineers, material scientists, computer scientists, and roboticists. So we really have to make sure that we have one environment which allows the exchange and a really smooth workflow between all of these people. And yeah, actually, so far what we have discovered through the 3D Experience platform is really amazing. It really makes advanced engineer software almost as easy as an iPhone or Android app. My wish would be the following. I would love to see some of this crazy environment available on Android or iPhone. I don't know, maybe this will happen in the future, because when our customer will make use of our 3D printer, we definitely want them to design their own houses, their own buildings, and their own pieces of structure. So at some point, we will probably have a need to go toward even more user-friendly applications. So I just hope it will be the future of architecture, to have each person design its own environment, and therefore can go for more advanced and more exquisite experiences.
So you basically are putting together the new language of social design, because all of the things that you are preparing are just accessible and will be accessible to anyone as a new language for designing our cities, our dwelling experience for tomorrow. So.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, we really want to democratize advanced technologies in the field of construction and architecture. Architecture during the 20th century, let's say, it has been cut from the people. It was made by experts, by a few experts, for billions of people. We want each of these people to be its own designer at some point, its own architect.
The parametric of building and dwelling.
Yeah, that's really,
instead of putting men in boxes.
Exactly, that's really the world challenge of parametric design and computational design. I mean, it's about making sure that every people will be able to adopt not only new technologies, but then new behavior. And we say that revolutions do happen not when people adopt new technologies, but when they adopt new behaviors.
Exactly. Yes, this is really a good testimony about design.
Can I add? Am I talking too much? I guess one word that I like to share is share. I think that for big design and also for social design, I think key word is a share. We create to share. And this is very important, because that makes many people to be a designer or a creator. Somebody who can share, somebody who appreciate or realize customers' future experience. Then that somebody can share. I think your system is good and should go for the direction where we can share the experience virtually without having to spend a lot of time and money in tooling and make a real product. A lot of this product can be shared with a virtual experience. So I believe that your experience thinking as your slogan and philosophy is really compelling, and I really love it.
Well, thank you. That could be some conclusion.
Yes, I think.
The very conclusion words. You were supposed to actually make the conclusion. You want to make it? Because you were asking us to basically.
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say in my conclusion of our roundtable. But
No.
I'm more than happy that maybe Philippe, you can say the final words for us.
Well, I think the conclusion, you see it on the screen here. It's this compass. The compass is about social on the north. It's about creating virtual universes. That's largely behind the 3D west side of the compass. It's about experimenting virtual and real, like you said, YoungSe Kim. So
south.
it's the V plus R south part of the compass. And you mentioned getting the intelligence, the information intelligence from the big data. Design is big. So I think at the conclusion, we could say that what we all articulated around this roundtable, we took the people through the 4 quadrants of the compass. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Pierre,
Thank you.
and thank you, Arthur, Jess, Philippe, and YoungSe Kim. Thank you very much.
You're going to stay here.
Thank you.